Hey, what's up, Kaijus? It's your boy Kaiju Kong, aka 2K, here to bring you some more Sigma, soul sustenance. Alright, so today's going to be a special episode for you guys, and hopefully the first of many. If this is well received by you guys, if you like it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And do comment your thoughts if you like what you're hearing. If you want some more, then yeah, just let me know, and we'll be sure to create more of it. So anyway, the reason why I'm doing this is more of a podcast sort of thing, is because, I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube, especially talking about the Sigma male, and it's like a trend that's going on. So a lot of people are capitalizing on using the term Sigma male in order to get more views or to give you guys advice and everything. But the thing is, in my opinion, I think the best type of advice would be to listen to someone who actually did the thing and not someone who's just regurgitating material that he has heard or read over the internet. And so, sometimes you hear videos saying oh, this is what women want, or Sigma female, how do they think, or why do women find Sigma males attractive? But then the only perspective you're hearing it from is from a dude. So how will a dude know exactly what a woman thinks or why exactly women find the Sigma males attractive, right? So with that train of thought, I decided to create the podcast series where we give you a more balanced view, both the masculine and the feminine. You get to hear exactly firsthand from a woman what she basically thinks about everything. And that's why I decided to bring along a co-host, my girl, Mónica, who I believe, but of course she will tell you her opinion on that, who I believe that is also a Sigma, but a Sigma female, in my opinion. When we started dating, I told her, I didn't actually show her my YouTube videos in the beginning, neither did I tell her that I had a YouTube channel. But it was funny to me because I created the Sigma female video a long time ago, a year before we met. And then when I met her, all the points that I described in my Sigma female video, she kind of hit the nail on the head there in almost every single point that I gave. And then when I sent her this video, she was like, yeah, I resonate with that, but I still don't think that Sigma... And she's gonna basically chime in her thoughts there. So, without further ado, let me introduce to you my co-host, Mónica.
Hi guys! Welcome to the channel. No pressure, right? No pressure. So yeah, just like was already said, so we're in a relationship, and I'm now aware of, and for a long time actually, of the channel and some of the ideas that go behind it, some of the the community that also is associated with this type of channels and communities, and why not give a woman's perspective on this. But again, no pressure, right? This is just my personal view, obviously. So we do match in a lot of things, that's why we're in a relationship. But that does not mean that what I say, it's what everyone thinks, what every woman thinks. As will become obvious when we talk more about some topics. But yeah, I think it should be interesting for you, mostly masculine audience, to have some ideas of what we might think, or how we might perceive some of your own expectations or visions on relationships, on life, and whatnot. And so here I am. I hope I had some value to the channel, and let's start some good, interesting conversations.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, for you Sigma females on the channel, because I know that my audience base is not only men, Sigma females in the channel, if you feel like she represents and you resonate with what Mónica is saying, then just, go ahead and leave a comment, show your love and everything. Yeah. So,
drop some questions as well.
Mm-hmm.
If this actually becomes a thing, we want feedback from both guys and girls, women, obviously from the channel, or new people, new subscribers. And so I think the best way to start conversations is with something that actually you guys are interested in hearing our thoughts on. And just leaving this reminder, I guess.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to start off this series by answering one of the biggest questions that I get a lot on the Sigma female video in particular, which is that a lot of the guys out there as Sigma males were asking, where can they find a Sigma female? And basically at what age? Because we had this conversation the other time where I was saying, I asked my mom when I was younger, asking my mom, where can I find girls of value? And my mom basically told me, oh, the best place you can find a girl of value is go to church. And I'm like, okay, yeah. And she used to bring me to church when she came to Portugal, and she basically nudged me on the shoulder and she said, you look at that girl, she's kneeling. Why don't you talk to her and ask her out? I'm like, Mom, not in church. Church we're supposed to be...
It was not me, okay? It was not me.
No, it was not. No. Monica and I, we met under a bridge. That's a long story short.
Yeah, we'll just leave you guys with this for
Yeah,
now.
we met under a bridge. So I was always wondering, like, where do I find a woman like you? Like, as a side note, as I told you before, the reason why I liked you more, I found you more attractive, was because I realized, like, especially now during the pandemic, your absolute hate and dislike for wearing masks in public. Like, if you could get away with it, you're not gonna wear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was also not illegal, just to make this clear. I'm not a gangster.
I know, but then sometimes you see people just wearing masks just for no reason, and sometimes you even tell me, like, why the hell do you have a mask on?
Yeah, it kind of bothers me, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like seeing your beautiful face, and also, yeah, it's when it's mandatory and it's a crowd and it's a closed space. But obviously, this is another topic. But obviously, I respect others enough to do that. But other than that, I think I hold myself accountable for my health and for my safety, and I think everyone else should do the same. As long as we stay, like, grounded and rational, we do the prevention part, but we don't obsess about it. It's like the compliance over things that are not even questioned first.
Yeah.
Let's use this long, heavy topic for another day.
Yeah. Or maybe we're not even gonna touch on that because, that's everyone.
This is very controversial.
Yeah, this is very controversial. So anyway, yeah, I was asking, like, where do you find...
Yeah, but you gave me an answer. So, as you just said, like, your mom, when you asked this, your mom, she was saying, like, the church, and she was also saying not in a club. Not that she's wrong, but actually, I would gladly be in a club, or a nightclub, or a bar, not so much, actually, but it could be. But then I went back to the question, and the question was, where would I meet you? And indeed, I don't think we would meet in a setting like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it was impossible, not that you don't like to party, not that you don't go with friends or go out often or from time to time, but so do I. But I don't think we go with the mindset of meeting someone for a long-term relationship. That's not exactly the mindset. We usually go with friends, or we go to just see someone, or we go with that mindset of, like, how we'd say in Portuguese, we're cleaning the views. So just seeing attractive people, but that doesn't mean we're going to make a move. That doesn't mean we have expectations for the night. We just go to have fun, and especially if you go with friends, it's not like you're going to go with a target. Just go to just chill.
And appreciate, eye candy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you want to feel attractive, and you want to feel like someone's attracted to you, but that's it. So it's not like we wouldn't meet each other like that. What I told you is we could have been in the same place, but I wouldn't even look at you with that mindset of relationship, and I don't think you would see me with those eyes either, because exactly of the setting that it is.
And if you're in the club, what typically would you be doing?
Dancing.
Okay.
Why?
No, it's just because they're asking. Because, like, me as a guy, like, okay, knowing that you do go to the club,
I just
go to bars,
dance.
but mostly the club, like,
That's
where
like
are most likely
dance floor. In the middle of dance floor.
Mm-hmm.
With no glass, no bottle in my hand. Just usually I go with not big groups, but yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I noticed. You said that you don't usually drink a lot to get.
No.
Like, you just dance without being influenced by alcohol. And that's what I noticed. Like, a lot of girls, they get drunk first, which then pushes them to dance. But then in your case, you just dance. And that's the same thing with my mom. My mom said, like, she would have fun, but not get drunk.
Yeah.
She would be there, like, drink just to get the buzz.
Yeah.
And then have a good time.
Because
because like she was saying, well, that's the best way to have a good time. The best times are the ones that you can remember.
For sure, 100%. That's exactly the way I think.
Yeah.
Of course, you have, like, phases, like when you're growing up and you're a teenager, or when you're, maybe for me not a teenager, but when I was in college, of course you have your time of, let's get blackout drunk, and maybe I did it like once or twice, mistakenly, but still. But yeah, it's not at all the best time. It's not at all the best nights. It's not at all something that you remember. no, it's not fun. So actually when I go clubbing, I prefer to not drink at all alcohol, just water. And just everyone's drunk, so I already feel kind of like relaxed because no one judges that much. So it already works by itself. But yeah, all of this to say that I would probably be dancing. And also just going back a little bit, because you kept asking, or you keep using the term sigma, female, and all of that. Again, I understand the definition that you give and you gave on your channel, but it's not, and I do like kind of feel like I fit quite well and on a very specific level. But yeah, at the same time, I don't like subscribing to a lot of labels.
Yes,
personally. Yeah. And so when you ask me that, I do have to go back to like my friends that I don't even know. I didn't think if they were sigma females or not, but there are people that I get along with. And so how would those friends be like in a club? How could you meet them? Okay, it will depend on your personality, obviously, but in a club, again, do you really believe anyone goes there trying to find like a long-term partner? Yeah. I don't think so. Probably. It can happen. There's amazing, weird stories that actually worked out like that, but I don't think any girl would actually expect that to happen, or they would want to happen because it's so dreamy, but it's not very realistic. At the same time, I would also not say, oh yeah, you would meet a sigma female in a library, because I'm definitely not there as well.
So what would you usually do? Let's break it down according to timeline. Let's say, because of course mostly the guys would start wanting to get a relationship maybe in high school. So start high school phase, where what would you usually do? What would you usually be thinking? Where would you usually be? And then after high school, maybe in university, the same thing. Where were you? What were you usually doing?
And then now?
What were you thinking? And then now?
Okay. I'm not very proud to say this. I feel kind of exposed. But in high school, I was a wallflower, and you know this. Like, I was so boring. I was so uninteresting. I was just studying to have good grades and be able to choose like a major that I would actually want, and or at least would be good for success in professionally. So I did play a couple of sports here and there, but it was not like competition. It wasn't something that I was very serious about. And I did have like my group of friends, which is, well, typical teenager behavior. But where could you find me? You could not, honestly, find me unless I was in school. Yeah. Yeah. Unless we were friends, and that's the way I actually had some crushes. I mean, they had some crushes on me. Would be through school, because I was very like into studying, again, not because I liked it, but because I had a goal. So I was a nerd, you know, that's not very attractive, but some dudes would be like into that. So outside of school, no, I was boring as fuck. Like, you would not know me. You would, so even if you would meet me, it would be like, ugh.
So you're just doing things by the book, like studying, making sure you did well.
I was long-term thinking. It was not partying at all. It was not sports. It was not hanging out. I mean, I would hang out with friends as well, but it was mostly based on studying for something, or projects or something like that. So things with
like outings with a purpose, basically, not just outing for the sake of outing.
No, I have to be forced for that. And I would go, but again, forced. As you know, we're gonna have dinner. I was like, even then, it wouldn't be like very enticing to me. Oh, you're gonna have dinner. Okay, but it's weird, but it's true. But anyways, I had amazing friends, and so they would, get together with me to study, and I would help them with that, and they would help me with the social part of like, let's go, Mónica, like, come on, and even to like very innocent parties or something like that. It was nothing like super crazy, but it was obviously important when you're growing up to have those experiences, and I had to be kind of forced and pushed by close friends, which in the end paid off, and we're still in touch, and I'm very grateful for that. But it was just not my goal at the time. I was very like adult kind of mindset in terms of like a person as a teenager. That's not very beneficial, but it has its perks. So high school, no.
And an important question is, what type of guys would you find attractive in high school, like personality-wise? Like, what are the dudes that would...
The smart ones.
Yeah.
If you don't have the grades, not now, but back in the day, if you didn't have the grades, for me, that would mean it was a lot of judgment around it. That's the thing. That's why I'm like feeling kind of exposed. But I grew up with that mindset of like, if you're not applying in school, if you're not making an effort, it's not like you're a nobody, but you're setting like the pavement to be a nobody. Like,
yeah.
So
that's a good way.
In my head, the judgment was very heavy because it did come from my parents. And so, because I was trying so hard not to be that, how would I feel attracted to someone who's not doing that? Mm-hmm. So I could recognize if they were cute, but like for me, being cute at the time was nothing. It was just like, you're a cute face to look at. But in high school, like, there's so many cute faces. So I would go for the ones who could be a really good balance between social, sports, and they were intelligent. Like, they didn't have to like study a lot, or they would, but they would be very quiet about it. So I was attracted to that, the one that actually embodies the things that I don't have yet, which is a very good balance between life, like social life, and family life, and school.
Mm-hmm. And when you were in high school, because let's say, I'm just out of curiosity, since you said you were like Wallflower and pretty much not so much in the spotlight, did you ever have this, like a little desire in the back of your head to want to be in the spotlight? Be cool in the eyes of other girls and stuff like that?
Yeah, of course.
And let's
Who's
say,
the girl who doesn't?
Of course, yeah. I'm just asking.
I think.
So if, let's say, if one of the more popular guys, if he were stupid as fuck, but he was just more popular, if he were wanting to date you, you'd see that as a probable benefit. Like, oh, because I'm with the popular kid, being around him would be like cool, and the girls would be jealous of me. No. What's the basis?
You're expecting a yes.
I don't know. I'm just curious.
No, at all. No, I'm very logical.
Mm-hmm.
You could be the cutest piece of ass in the world, and if you don't show me you have a brain and you carry yourself with some like, I don't know, grace, I guess. No, obviously, like the Bachelor, like everyone wants to date you. I would recognize they were cute, but I was usually my crushes would be the ones that are more like discreet.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone kind of knew they were in school, but they were not even looking at them like that. But I would, because they would just have this thing that I valued, which was the academic records, whatever. And those dudes who are popular and they're just like dumbasses, or they just don't care. I mean, again, I could feel like attracted to them. I don't exactly remember, but it was not like I want to date them. Because no. That's not a good representation of me.
Yeah.
I don't want to be seen with you.
So you'd go for nerds, or not necessarily nerds? You'd want them...
No, but they don't know. I don't like, I would not choose the ones who are obvious nerds. Okay. Apparently they're normal, but they're not. They actually care about grades and future and that type of thing.
But then would you ever approach a guy, or... Because that's the thing, that's what I usually tell Sigma males in my channel. Like, in many cases, at least girls have asked me, like, how do you get with a Sigma male? I don't usually see people asking how to get with an alpha male, because they always teach the alpha males to make the first move, to approach the girl. But at least like in my case, in my younger years and back in high school, it's the girls actually approaching me. Because they knew that if they didn't approach me, I wouldn't care. Yeah, I wouldn't really give a fuck, because I had so many things to do. I had swimming, I was varsity in swimming and taekwondo at the same time. So that took away a lot of my afternoon. Basically, after school, I would just go to the swimming pool, get changed, and then train until like 6 or 7 in the evening. Then immediately go back home, sleep, next day, school. So yeah, the girls would have to approach me, make things like super obvious, because, well, I wouldn't even approach them, nor would I even have noticed, to be honest.
That's the part of the sports and being busy. Again, this is high school, so this is again not the thing that I remember the most. It's not the thing that I do or recommend now. But I remember like one of my crushes during high school, and I didn't have money because I was like, again, grades first. And he was a guy exactly like that, like very... He tried to do like way too much, but it was like sports and grades, and then like some of those like clubs or competitions like in school. So it's not exactly for the grades, but it's also academic kind of thing. And then we had like extracurriculars as well. So obviously like he was so busy and he had like so many girls crushing on him. but they would be obvious. Like, they would actually go and try to talk to him, send love notes, or, oh, can you explain me this, or help me for the test, or like, oh, you have a basketball game coming. And I was not like that, okay? My confidence was not like, oh yeah, let's try mine, no. Mm-hmm. So, but I did remember feeling like so stupid, because I honestly was too obvious sometimes as well. But they actually don't, it's not that they don't care, obviously they also have crushes, but they're very focused on like future long-term goals, and they're not looking for a girlfriend. If she comes along, they will kind of stop, I guess, but it's not a priority. And that, for me, that makes it more attractive. It's like the forbidden fruit. Like, you don't want me? Let's see. But no, you didn't want me. Okay, guys, never mind. But yeah, so that's a good example of how a girl in high school would actually approach the guy. Yeah. But nowadays, I don't think that's something. I still think it's nice for a guy to make the first move. Doesn't mean it's like has to be spectacular, like it doesn't have to be a big thing. I would not say do everything for me and I keep projecting you. I think that's ridiculous. So what I say is, obviously it's a tango, it's a dance, but I still appreciate when a guy is bold enough and vulnerable enough to say or ask or invite or something like that.
Yeah, I would say, like, if you do want a relationship, my advice is to make it as fast as you can. Like,
fast?
to try and get a relationship, because when I was younger, like, don't overthink things. If you like the girl, just go and approach. If she doesn't like you, try again but you have to do it with finesse, of course, because if you go up to a girl awkwardly, no.
Gotta be confident,
I want at least the girl to know that, okay, she likes me, good, then we go. Like, you already know that the girl likes you. Then you can move forward instead of dreaming like, does she like me? Like pulling the rose petal, does she like me?
What a waste of time. When you're in high school, just go for it. Yeah. Especially, like, okay, girls do want a boyfriend. Not me at the time, but I was weird. But girls do want a boyfriend, generally speaking. And guys, like, if you go for a girl that you kind of already know that she's maybe into you, like, she's yours, basically. Just like we shouldn't just develop crushes on guys that are completely unattainable for many, many reasons. Just don't make it, like, so hard. Because, like, now you're saying this, but this is high school. So when I jumped to college, then this thing of, like, ooh, I want a boyfriend, that kicked in, like, so hard. Like, I wanted a boyfriend, and this, for you, my girls over there, listening to this, this is a good friend of mine actually taught me this, because I was so clueless. It was like, you're a girl. If you want it, basically you're gonna have it. Guys usually have to try way harder and have to be rejected, like, way more times than you to get with someone. Whatever that thing is, if it's a relationship, it's just like, whatever, a fling, one night stand, whatever it is, like, usually, if we want it, they are kind of there for that. So in college, that thing became, like, the thought of, like, boyfriend relationship, and your family starts to ask, ooh, and what about relationship? What about boys? And you kind of go like, oh, wait, I wasn't thinking about that. I was just trying to go for the grade. And I'm like, what the hell should I do now?
A new box on the to-do list appeared.
Yeah, like, what the hell? Like, of course I want one, but I thought things would be like the movies. Like, it would just happen naturally. Well, it didn't, so I just became kind of desperate for a relationship. Like, I needed practice. I was like, okay, but I've never done this before. Am I behind? Am I the only one out? So, well, that's the thing. I got one. Just like that. Because if you show interest, it was not that simple, obviously, at the time. You have to be a good match, and you have to choose wisely. But once you do, it's kind of hard for them to say no. Especially during this, like, college and high school times. Like, you're just there to have fun. Yeah. Even if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It's not like a big deal.
Yeah, but then again, it depends. Like, girls do have it easier. Like, if you want it, you can have it. To get a girlfriend is easy.
Oh, yeah.
But to get the one that you really want,
no.
That's the specific part, because, like, you were saying, like, yeah, it's easy for girls, but then a girl asked, like, if, let's say, if you came up to me and, like, said that, oh, no, like, you tried to make your move, I would still have second guesses and probably you'd not get it. It's easy, of course it's easier, but...
That's the thing. You have to choose wisely. That also implies that you have to choose someone that's... Obviously, I didn't know this at the time. It's not like manipulation kind of thing. But you do go for... Okay, you have to try. It doesn't mean it's the first boy you're gonna be into. I had crushes and they didn't happen. And they were just not into me that way. But when it did happen, it was someone that, it was kind of clueless like me in life. And again, it was the same pattern of like no long-term goals. I'm just here for a good time. And it ended up being actually long-term relationship, quite healthy, I would have to say. But it was mostly me doing the work of the relationship. So I was kind of carrying the relationship because I wanted it. So again, just like the grades, if I have a thing in my head, like I want to do this, I'm going to do it. Like it's going to happen. Yeah, in college, things change. So where could you find me in college? Where could I find you in college?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I'd be doing what, like, let's say the quote-unquote cool kids are doing, but I would not be so cool.
Okay, but I could still find you in a bar from time to time. Or
Yeah, you would find
Friday
me in the bar,
evening.
you'd find me in the club, you'd pretty
you were
much
doing the social part, the bare minimum to keep up.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, same.
The bare minimum to keep up, yeah. And
I think
at
that's
the time
where
I didn't really
connect.
Yeah, and I didn't really know who I was yet at the time, so I was like super competitive, wanted the best things, wanted to go for the best internships. But then like in class, I was rarely the type to speak up or anything. That's the only thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. Like you just said, the kind of secret weapon of introverts. Again, not that I'm a fan of the labels. We all have sides. But if you're mainly introverted, you will, like, you have a lot of benefits from listening to people, because they don't even know why they like you. And I didn't even know why they liked me. And now looking back and hearing you and a lot of people, it's because they connect with you because you just listen. You're just there. Mm-hmm. You're not waiting for them to finish or you can speak up. Mm-hmm. It's just like you're just there. You're like a sponge. And people love that shit.
Like, oh, you're the most interesting person that I talked about.
You didn't say anything.
Or like, oh, that dude is so interesting to talk to. And they're like, oh yeah? So who is he? What does he do? Actually, I don't know. I didn't ask him, he was just like...
Just good company.
Yeah, it's just good company.
But why? Because you listen.
You just ask good questions. So he knows everything about you. She knows everything about you, but...
Oh my... Yes,
like
you have that impression as well.
Wait, I didn't know anything about him.
I know everything about, like, the secrets that no one's supposed to know. And they have best friends. I was never the best friend. And I would know, and I was like, what do I do with this information? I don't have anyone to tell it.
I would know all the bullshit of someone else.
Yes.
I would know the like, secrets, the juicy stuff.
Or like a black hole, just secrets just come and just vanish.
They just vanish,
Yeah.
Like non-judgmental. Of course we judge, but we understand people.
We shut up,
Yeah, I think we have that sense of empathy, like, humans are not perfect, no, I can understand. And I think for me that was kind of, it's a strength in many cases, but the weakness was that, let's say, because in university I was the leader in a class project. We had to set up a banquet, and sometimes we had so many arguments between the departments. But then the thing is, like, for me, I found it hard because I understand this guy, but I also understand this guy. Mm-hmm. And then when they look to me like, oh, what do you think? I'm like...
Really? That's interesting.
I'm like, I don't know, because, like, the thing is, like, when I would talk to the finance guy, I would say, you're the correct one. But the bad thing is, like, when I go to the other person, I'm like, I know you're the correct one. So sometimes, like, fuck, when they're both there and they look at me, what's your decision? Like my brain just, like, it's like the fuzzy TV with no signal. And I knew that was a weakness, and I was pissed off because I had a friend who was the assistant manager, but he was very harsh, very decisive, very, like they would say, the typical alpha. Assertive, yeah. If he didn't like something, we would then like, and we would like really, sometimes you scream at other people, they end up crying. And I'm like, fuck, this is not the way to do it. But then he would go to the club or to the bar, and then he would talk to them in a way that's very diplomatic. Mm-hmm. The next day, they're like really good friends. And I looked at them, I'm like, that's something that I want to have. So I knew it was a weakness, and I tried to build up on it. That's why I made, like, now they're like, okay, between this and this, what would you prefer? I tried to make within 5 seconds, like, okay, go for this decision. Try to be more decisive. Good. Like, to work on it, because of course you're in high school, university, you want to think you're perfect, you want to think you know the world, but then when you appreciate and you understand that you're growing, you are on your own journey, you still have so many more decades to go, you give yourself some slack. And so, like, things that you don't like about yourself or the way you don't like showing up in the world, you make improvements. Like, that's for me my example.
Yeah. Between the two of us, you're very your mindset is very, like, business. I don't know, maybe it's because of your job. I think maybe it's like a lot of your personality, like entrepreneur personality. because I've always loved being the mediator. Because I understand both parties. But it was never a thing of like, oh, but I have to choose. I would never choose. That's why I didn't have like enemies. And also I didn't have a lot of best friends, let's be honest. But it was because I didn't like choosing. I didn't like choosing this group over that one or this best friend over that one. If it's nothing personal with me, then I'm cool with everyone. But again, that doesn't mean I want to be friends with everyone. But I would still take advantage of like understanding both parties and coming up with solutions. That's why I think people come for us for advice. They come to us because they expose one side of the story, but you already know in your head, like there's two sides of the story because there's two people involved. Mm-hmm. And then there's a third one, which is actually what's happening.
And this is interesting. So you took the MBTI 16 personality test, right?
Yeah.
And you are?
An INFJ.
Yeah, the same. And that's why when you brought it up, the mediator part, and you see both sides, actually I did some studies on it because I wanted to know, okay, INFJ, and I was a bit lost at the time, so I wanted to know what's the best profession for me to go, what's the best job.
Yeah.
So along those lines, basically, I searched also like, I saw this thing where they ranked the best to the worst of potential incomes based on the MBTI, on your MBTI types. Mm-hmm. And I realized that usually INFJs are at the bottom part of we earn the least, the potential. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wait, why? And usually the ones that were the highest, I think, the people pleaser part, and the people that were the highest, I forgot exactly what they were, but they were mostly the extroverted, were in the higher ones.
Yeah, and they speak.
And when I was like choosing them, they were like CEO, business, sales, and stuff like that. I'm like, shit. So I said, okay, I know that potentially I can earn the least, but fuck that, fuck what they say. I want to be the one to earn one of the best. So I wanted to take on management roles, leadership positions. Like, why can't an INFJ be CEO? Why can't an INFJ be a good leader? And one of this was that when I went in that, you're a mediator, you see both sides.
Yeah.
But then when you have to make a decision, it's like super hard. And then I realized like, shit, this is where some people, like, they're very cold. They make decisions very quickly. But then INFJ, no. INFJs, we have a very extroverted side. Like, we not really like masks, we have personas.
Yeah, it's a chameleon. Yeah. We can adjust because we are, I think that's the thing. I was going to say, no matter what the personality type you get, you just said, like, we usually are not the high paid ones. But still, you probably know some examples, or even ourselves, that we kind of made our way through and we are still going up and up, because the more you understand how you work by default, the more you can like develop the things that you're kind of lacking in terms of what your goal is, and you can master that. So you like you just said, like, this is the thing that I wanted to work on.
Yeah. Or like seeing that, this is how I work, therefore I avoid those type of situations, and then capitalize on the mediator part.
Yeah, and that would be a good example.
Because like INFJs were very good at putting on a persona. So we can, like, at the time I could put on a persona of looking like a really good leader. But then there were certain times where, I feel like I was faking it.
Yeah.
And it was like, in my head, it's like, fucking, it's a moment of time before they realize that I'm not as good as leader as I look, because I cannot be that decisive.
I think that imposter syndrome happens to everyone unless you're very disconnected to people's feelings and emotions.
Of course.
But that being said, I do, understand what you're saying, but at the same time, I don't know, like, exactly, you're a chameleon and you can adapt to situations. And it's just knowing that for me, I had to learn how to speak up for myself way more than I do. But that's the thing, because I tend to be more insecure about it, because I don't like asking for something, or sometimes I have a hard time seeing when I actually deserve it. I kind of learned to work on being very diligent with the information that I bring to the table. If I'm pointing out a problem, I make sure I have like 3 solutions. So I don't just like work on, I deserve all of this and all of that, and I demand so. No, like, I worked hard enough to know that, okay, if you have a problem, you kind of have to try to come up with a solution and communicate that to the management, whatever this is a job situation, or just make sure, like, the way you talk about yourself, it's humble enough to take some feedback as well if actually you're wrong. So it's not, like, there's a lot of nuances you need to understand about yourself. It's not like some jobs are completely out of your league because of your personality. No, I think you need to work on some things that maybe others are just very intuitive with.
Then again, if it's like something that's really a weakness, so sometimes like you can do it.
Be smart
or
about
like
your
like
choices
a frog.
as well.
A frog would swim faster in water than jump, and I can or a crocodile. I can go on land, or I can be in the water. Where do I go faster? In water. If I'm in the water competing to get food, will I? Because this is money. Money is food. Let's compare that. So I can either get the food on land or get the food in the water.
Yeah.
Okay, if I get food on land, who am I competing with? Cheetahs, lions, or the land predators. Okay, who runs faster? Who has, like, you have to be honest with yourself. Well, actually, they are better. They're more suited and adaptable. It's innate for them.
For sure.
They have the talent and strength to get the food.
Yeah.
So if you force yourself to compete because you like the taste of chicken, well, it's up to you. So it's you pick your own sacrifices, Jordan Peterson says. So you have to compete with the lion to get the chicken.
It's like not so much to work on things and force yourself into an industry or into a situation where you're not comfortable with and just for the sake of being successful. It's also navigating the situation in an intelligent way and being honest with yourself. Like, do you really want that? Or are you just being told that you should want that?
Exactly.
So honestly, people like us, we usually tend to have a very specific taste for a lot of things, and that there's a reason for that. Like, you were better in those things, so go for the ones you actually care. You have a purpose, you have a reason why behind it, and then you work on the things that you might lack on, or the things they're important for that situation. This was a huge tangent, by the way.
Yeah, this was a very huge tangent. I forgot where we even came from.
Like, we came from college.
And
we
where
came from
were
college
you
to
as a Sigma?
So, this is, I think, that's when we kind of connected, like, we merged. As in, college was a time where the type of kid that you were, the opposite of what I was, we kind of now reaching the same type of thing. We're doing the bare minimum to say connected and social because that's what we're being told our whole lives it's important. But we're still very long-term. Who am I? What can I do? How can I be better? Self-love, self-development journey.
Mm-hmm.
At least I speak for myself, that's where I was, especially towards like the end of college. And that's when things like completely took a turn, when I finished and I started working, so-called like dive into the real life, real world kind of thing.
Yeah.
And now if you ask me, where can I find you? Or where the way we met as well. Mm-hmm. So now, you as a Sigma male, how can someone find you? Where could I find you if we were not together now?
If we have, and that's a big if we ever cross paths in life, we would barely even notice each other because we're very probably low key in a way. And we're always, when we move, we're moving with a purpose. We're not gallivanting. We're going from one place to another because we want to get to that place for a certain reason. So let's say if we did cross paths in the street, I would look at you and like, okay, cool, pretty girl. But then I'm just like, but I have things to do.
I wouldn't think like that. I'm very like romantic, very fairy tale kind of, very logical, but I still want the things that everyone wants. Mm-hmm. So no, for me, a walk, I used to be like that, but that's the thing. That's when I was very, very masculine, very driven about like goals, but not so much into like the feminine side of me. So I actually forced myself to be more mindful, to just like look at the small details, be grateful for the small things. And those small things for me in nature, like when you're going for a walk and just see like animals or babies or trees or flowers, whatever the fuck it is, it just started being like an habit to go, especially when you're single. Those are the moments where like you're really like by yourself. And if you gotta enjoy them, like going on walks, maybe it sounds super tacky, but like for girls, I think it's a thing. And it's just like a ritual kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, generally speaking in life, I'm also very focused and...
Yeah. Oh, because you talk about walks and things like that. I do take walks, but the walk that I take is when I'm done running. If you lived in Cascais, almost every single day I'm running on the beach side.
Yeah.
That's where we'd meet.
Yeah.
Because many times I see girls there, and I would see the same type, the same certain girls.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes we talk. Because there are girls that clearly they run for the attention and you can see it. It's very obvious. But then there are others who just like, you see them, they're running and they just run with a purpose. You look at them, but they're just like dead focus on straight. Sometimes I see the woman, I'm like, she looks hot. Sorry, that was before I met you. Like, she looks hot, but like, where's the entry? Where's the opening? Like, I want to get to know her because I've seen her every day that I was there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would see her run one way, and then like maybe 15, 20 minutes later, I see her running back the other way. I'm like, fuck, this girl is still running. So I'm like, and she does that almost every single day, and I've seen her at that specific time. So she has a regimen, she has a routine, and I like that. I like that about a girl, the one that maybe I don't know if she's intelligent or she has something going for her life, but at least she has that going.
Discipline,
so
yeah.
When I know that a girl is physically fit and she likes staying active, that's a big plus point, as you said, like a balanced person. Like, I could be very spontaneous in the other things, but then my routine was, okay, at least when the sun is out, I'm going to be running.
Well, for me, it's going to be very similar. I don't work out outside as much as you do, but it also became an habit for the past 2 years or something. But honestly, because I tend to work out indoors, when I go outside, I do like looking around, not people obviously, but sometimes you kind of look in each other's eyes, and there's a moment, and you kind of go it could run on the opposite way now and come for me, but that rarely happens. Sometimes it happens, but it could be a way. But honestly, I think more of I made an effort to become be more social and outgoing for the relationships, the friendships that are actually worth it. So for the past few years, and even the way we met, there was a reason for that. It was exactly because there's a purpose in the things we do. And honestly, I wouldn't go out just to look at boys. I would go out with the intention of walking, of reading a book, of meeting someone. And of course, when I'm out, I would be paying attention because that was in my mind. It became kind of a long-term goal. I want to be in a relationship eventually. But it was, yeah. So maybe that's why, I do recommend for people like that, dating apps. Choose your poison. But I think it's a very good way to, sorry if this sounds very harsh, but to not waste your time.
Mm-hmm.
If you're very intentional with what you want and the things what you offer, it becomes quite easy to navigate. It can become frustrating because you're not going to find your match that easily, or matches, but I think it's worth it because you can still keep doing your life and not worry about am I missing out? Oh, should I have said hi to that guy when I was running? You just do your thing, no what ifs. And then the dating app is the place and time where you focus on that. And again, you're mindful about it. It's not just a random, I don't know. For me, it makes more sense.
Yeah. Because
yeah.
As I know, it seems like there's the theme here. We do things for a purpose. Even for me, when I'm out because of a reason. When I'm in this place, I'm there for a reason. So let's say when you do the dating apps, I'd be there just to put my focus on the dating.
Yeah, many people are just there to swipe.
Yeah, of course.
And get some text.
Of course, yeah.
Which is also valid, but once you have an intention, some people don't know if they want a relationship or not. They don't know if they want to date. They don't know if they want to go on dates. Mm-hmm. That's why ghosting exists.
And you, even from the message, you can see if you connect or not on a deeper level. If you see if you have some chemistry, if you can, get some interesting reactions from the person, yes, of course. But if you talk about hobbies and stuff for a long time, and you don't get to lead up to a potential meetup.
Oh, yeah, just keep stalling.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, yeah.
You just want your attention.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. So, of course, those things like that, I would say okay, no, I'm not gonna continue on with this. Alright, guys, so as you know, if you look at your time, we went way beyond the normal time that I'm used to doing. This is a really long-form podcast, the first time that I've been doing it. And I know that I wanted to answer way more questions or to give you more specific answers to the questions that you may have had. So, yeah, we couldn't have done it in the time amount that we had, but Nevertheless, if you have any questions that you want us to answer specifically, or if you feel like you want us to elaborate on a specific answer, then do drop them in the comment section below. And we'll get back to you in the next episode, or of course episodes to come. Remember, this is the first episode that we're doing, and we're only gonna get better with time. Content's only gonna get better. So, this is Kaiju Kong signing off.
And Monica.
We hope that you enjoyed this first podcast, so we'll be seeing you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, till next time, my friends. See you soon.
Bye.